Hello, Dental A Team listeners. Dana and I are back here today. We are really excited. We just did actually a really fun podcast. I think Dana, I don't know. I think that was one of my favorite podcasts we probably ever recorded. I love that stuff. So, Dana, thanks for being here. How are you today?
Doing good. Excited to get, I know I say this a lot, but I truly am just excited to have some TIFF time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I still have it on my mind. I need to put it in my ClickUp organizer. You guys, shout out to that. I need to get the soft skills training on there. So I was thinking about that a lot. So you make my day, Dana. Thank you. I appreciate that. You guys, virtual teams are weird, and they were like, it's just weird. But I think the weirdest part to me, or the oddest part, is how sincerely close I feel to everyone. Like Dana, I feel like we're best friends, and we never get time together. Like the last time we had time together, truly the last time we had time together, I guess, was when we did the December, we did the shopping for the kids
Mhm.
in December, the give back. Um, Prior to that was like Disneyland that was 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
2 years ago. Nikes, time flies. Time freaking flies. So, but I feel like we were just together last weekend. Like,
Mhm.
it's weird. It's a weird thing that has come really far. So, on that note, anyone who's considering a virtual team member, it can work really well. I mean, we've got Joash, who's in the Philippines, and I feel like I know that man. Like, we've
Mhm.
hung out together. That's so weird. He's
Yeah.
in the Philippines. You guys, it's nighttime when he's working for us, and I'm like groggy just starting my day, and he's already lived an entire day and his family's sleeping. Like, wild. And
Oh,
I feel
yeah.
like I hung
I
out with
know. And
him.
I feel like we know things about his baby girl. We know things about his wife,
Yeah.
his band. And it's like he's not even in the country on the same time zone. It's
Yeah.
just virtually over the computer. It's
Yeah,
crazy. Yeah.
it is really crazy. It's insane to me how far things have come. I think it's really cool. I think 2020, we're going to call it 2020, not the other word we could call it, did a lot for us in a lot of ways. There is a lot of bad. I will never discredit that, but I think it forced innovation. 2020 forced innovation. I think it was things that were already like in the works in the background or whatever, but it just pushed it to the forefront. And the innovation that has come in the last 5 years has been insane to me, and the amount and what we've been able to handle and what we've been able to consume as humans is wild to me. And working remotely and working on a virtual team is definitely something that came out of that. I remember Kara and I, when everything first started happening, we were like, shoot, okay, it is time to innovate or die, quite literally, innovate or die as a company, because things are drastically changing. Dana, we were in offices constantly, constantly. And then all of a sudden we were like, oh, guess what? You're not allowed to leave the state. Actually, you can't even leave your house. Like, don't breathe on anyone. Don't look at anyone. Like, it was wild. And that was when Kara and I got on a call and we were like, what the heck? How do we continue to help offices? And that was when we switched and started doing so much virtual. And it really spun. Like, it worked really well. We had so many offices that during shutdown were doing a ton of training with us. We were building operations manuals and really prepping for reopening. But it also brought a space of like, holy cow, Tiff and Kira cannot do this alone. Like, it brought on so much, and I think it just like speaks to the spiral of innovation that we've had in the last 5 years in our company and just in the country as a whole, in the world realistically. But Dana, I'm so excited. You came not too far after our 2020 whirlwind of, guess what, we're going to do everything by video now. And I was like, oh, crikey, here we go. This is going to be fun. And you came on board with us. So thank you for being here. You have changed the game for us, and I know changed the game for so many of your clients. Um, and Dana continues to help us innovate constantly. It is something that she's really, really good at. She is brilliant and just constantly thinking of another way, like and then the and then theory. Like, yes, you could do that, but then also you could do this. I'm like, gosh dang it, thank you. So Dana, thank you for being here. Um, I don't know if you guys know this or not. A lot of our topics, we we choose our topics, a lot of them, or we decide like what are we going to talk about today, or what practice do we want to highlight or chat about, and then there are topics that are given to us that I can't really say that I don't have a lot of control on that because they're given to me at the beginning of the year, well, the end of the year for the beginning of the year. And I go through them and I'm like, yes, these are fantastic topics. These are going to be great newsletters. Doctors are going to find a ton of value in this. And then, as discussed about 15 minutes ago with Dana, I need to layer on top of that, this is the and then, and say, how are we going to make a podcast about this? Because we have run into that today. But I'm really actually excited. We did our research, we did our due diligence, and we've chatted about this a few times. And speaking of innovations, there's been so many innovations everywhere that have helped dentistry just really take a new foothold in the scene of medical. And I think that you guys can all agree with that. Dentistry is one of the top survivors of 2020, and we're really thriving in this world. It's just never going away. So tons of innovations. We've talked about the tech. We talk about the tech a lot. I actually did one. Dee and I did a podcast not too long ago with Christy about really getting dental assistants involved in the tech and the innovations there, and that was fun. And this one kind of, I guess, is dental assistants too, but we really wanted to highlight some infection control innovations and not just like look at, oh, this is so cool, and I don't know, when I started in 2003, we were doing this and now we're doing this. Like, I don't want to just dive into those, but I really want to talk about some things that are up and coming on the scene. But with that said, Dana, thinking of my past and aging us both here, you're welcome. Um, do you remember? Do you remember walking into the room, no mask? Sometimes I had gloves, like it was like whatever, and dirty tray in one spot, and just like spraying everything everywhere to where you could barely breathe in that room. I remember, gosh, this must have been like 2006, 2007. I don't remember what happened, but something changed, right, with infection control. Do you remember stocking up on the Lysol cans?
Mm-hmm.
And like your whole office was like a cloud of Lysol.
Yep.
You couldn't even breathe. And now I'm, curious to see what my lungs are going to look like in the future and what Lysol really does to your lungs. But like it's just so fun to look at.
Mm-hmm.
These are the things we used to do. I used to walk into an operatory with, what was it called? What is it? It starts with a B. It's a Byrex.
Pyrex, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Byrex.
Yeah.
I can see the bottle,
Yeah.
the clear bottle with the green writing,
Mm-hmm.
yellow, squirt,
Yep.
and just like squirting every
Everything.
surface I could possibly
Yeah.
see, and then aerosoling with Lysol, walking away, coming back, wiping it down with Cavicide wipes, spraying it again,
Yeah.
and then walking away, and then walking in with a patient and being like, oh, let me dry that. And I'm drying the chair because there's still Byrex on the chair or Lysol in the air, and the patient's coughing. Dana, do you remember those days? I hope some
I
of us
do.
do.
And honestly, Tiff, because I grew up, like I was a child in a dental office a
That's
lot.
right.
And I actually even remember when like gloves were optional.
Yeah, I was like, I know what you're gonna say. I know what you're gonna say.
Yep. Yeah. Where even
Yeah,
gloves were just kind of like an option for some
yeah.
things.
Do you remember when they would say, well, this is more to protect me than it is to protect you, so
Yeah.
that's why I don't wear them? Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that too. I'm
Mhm.
like,
Oh, I wash my hands. So and I'm like, I just think about it now all the time. I'm like, oh my. Like,
oh, what we did.
well, the places we have come.
The places we have come, the things we have done, not knowing. I hope there are so many of you out there laughing. I know that there are a lot of you out there that are like, what are they even talking about? Because you may not have even been born yet.
Yeah.
So welcome to Dentistry. We're glad you're here. Just be happy you're coming onto the scene now.
Yeah.
Anyways, some of the things that I have, well, we looked up some things today, Dana, and some of the things one thing I was really excited about, something that you mentioned when we were chatting earlier, I want you to kind of talk about what you think, how you think practices could really utilize this was, one, there's like up and coming on the scene. I don't think that there's anything really out there yet that's solid, but up and coming on the scene, like automated knowing automatically if a sterilizer needs to be ran or whatever, right? The
Mhm.
sterilization pieces. So
Yeah.
that's looking really cool. The AI side of automating those types of things to keep a good schedule.
Mhm.
But Dana, one thing that was on there that we were looking at was really like tracking those things
Yeah.
and making it so that it is digitized. And I think that's massive because these
Mhm.
checklists that we create with practices, right? I have so many dentists that are like, well, cool, we've got like an end of day sheet, but like, what about their monthly? What about their weekly? What about the steri strips? And as a dental assistant, I never remembered to do those dang things. And when I did, I never looked at them. Right. And I'm like, just Henry Schein, take it away. Tell me if it's good or not. Like, but these automated tools I think will be super helpful. So, Dana, what do you think? How do you think that innovation is really going to benefit practices? And how can they implement something like that right away that they could truly automate some of these things?
Yeah, and I think it's really just doing some research and finding things. There definitely are companies out there who that have started, and even in the AI platform where they're just automatically tracking your sterilization. They're automatically making sure that all of your sterilization batches that come out are good, and it's logging it for you with dates and pass and fail and all of those pieces, which I think is just really, really super cool. I know that oftentimes when I get new offices, they're like, well, how do I get my OSHA pieces in place? And how do I, and having things like this that are just automated, that like, what a cool tool, and what cool things that I think we're seeing coming for dentistry in that area.
Yeah. Where do you feel like practices could ramp up what they're doing now to automate it? Like, I feel like I'm thinking we use ClickUp for
Mhm.
everything, which I mean, we have spent, I'm not going to lie, we spent a couple years getting really good at ClickUp,
Mhm.
and we have a whole team working on it behind us. But something like that, even, right, where it's like sending these automated email reminders, or there's apps out there with the Remind apps. I know the schools use a Remind app even, but there's like those family calendar apps that text you when things are coming up. Like how can we be innovative without waiting for AI to get better or waiting for Elon Musk or someone to think of something incredibly crazy that no one's ever thought of, but how can we be innovative with the tools that we already have that maybe we're seeing people are just aren't really doing these things and they easily could.
Yeah. And I think some of it comes down to like that saying, know thyself and be free, right? Well, if you're somebody that needs automated reminders, find a way to do it. There's Boomerang on your email that you can simply just email it yourself and say sterilization test strip, right? And then
Yeah.
you boomerang it to yourself every 10 days or every number of days that it's required for you in your area. And so I think just like finding ways, things that are hard don't
Yeah.
typically have to be hard. You just have to find a way to make it easier. And there are so many things out there, softwares and resources, and oftentimes too, like they're even cost effective, or there's no cost, right, for some of these
Mm-hmm.
things too. And so I think it is finding the pieces that are hard for you to keep track of, to keep, and then find something, whether it is a management tool, or whether it is just a reminder system, or whether it is one of these AI pieces that are coming or are here. I think
Yeah.
it really just is looking and figuring out how you can pivot and how you can use the technology that is around you, because man, the things that are at our fingertips to make things easy and to help with the things that we kind of like just hit our heads on the wall against
Mm-hmm.
every single day, they're here, and even more is coming, and it's really cool.
I couldn't agree more. I have so many systems set up. I tell my practices constantly, like my memory's never been super fantastic. I remember the things I want to remember, I suppose, right? But I have so many, like I have it down to like in my calendar, it'll say like, don't forget to leave for your hair appointment last Friday. Like you gotta drive, right? Like I've got so many pop-ups and reminders, and I'll just set simple alarms with a label on my phone sometimes that will make sure that I remember to do that off the wall thing. But I think you're right, Dana, I think we tend to overcomplicate things. and we try to tell ourselves that we're not smart enough, or we don't know the thing, or that's not my space, right? I'm not a tech person. I'm not a techie person, but I can tell you there are plenty of techie people out there that have created systems that I can use as a template to create it to be and work however I need it to work for me. So that know thyself and be true, you're 100% spot on with that. I know that I need these reminders, and so I look for the tools that will help me do that. And I think making sure doctors, practice owners, leaders, making sure you guys remember you don't have to be the ones that think of this for everyone else. I had a call yesterday, Dana, with a group of managers that are near and dear to my heart. I've been working with these ladies for years. Gosh, like I think since 2018. And I love them. They're so fantastic. But one of the questions yesterday was like, what do I do when they just keep forgetting to do the thing I asked them to do?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, one, right, Dana, make sure that you've got a date set and, like you said, like a reporting back system. You said that earlier on a different podcast. But also, Dana, don't you believe, I know you teach this too, like, I don't need to be the one that creates the system for you to make sure you get it done. If I take that autonomy and that creativity from you, you're likely going to forget, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree
Yeah.
with you. And I think team members know themselves hands down better than you do as leaders, or we do as your coach. And so sometimes I'm like, just sit down and ask them, like, what can we put into place? What do you think will help you? What do you think we can do to support, or what system do you think that we can build in? That's because not everybody is a checklist person. Sometimes
Yeah.
people need reminders on their phones. Sometimes people need reminders on the schedule. Sometimes people need something that comes to them via email, whatever it is. But oftentimes, team members, because they know themselves better than anyone, can come up with something that will actually truly work versus the 30 things we throw at them trying to solve it.
I totally agree with you. Totally agree with you. And that's been helpful in my life for me to be able to have that autonomy and be empowered to create what's going to work for me. And one of the biggest spaces there is, and then this comes to like the infection control things too, like what's the result we're after? If we know the result we're after, we are very smart beings. We are insanely intellectual. If we know the result we're after, likely we can come up with a plan to get us there. We have to be given that space and the availability to be able to do that. So I think it's huge. I think, gosh, Dana, like this little, I mean, we both have these notes up here that we're like, gosh, there are some really cool things coming down the pipeline. Like they sound awesome. Automated waterline disinfection system. Like, holy cow, that's so cool. If you have this, please write it and tell us more about it. Like, I know there's so many things that have come out of the last 5 years, and just watching these startup companies or companies that are just starting to do this new thing, watching them do this and jump onto the scene has just been really, really cool. And I think do some research, you guys. There's some cool things in here that we don't know enough about to go on tangents with, but it is really amazing. And staying on top of that, staying in the forums. I know we've got our doctor forum that's constantly asking questions around things like this and constantly innovating and thinking of new things. But realistically, bottom line, make sure that it's getting done. Make sure that you know what the standards are that you're supposed to keep when it comes to infection control. Those standards, those are your goals. Give them to your team. Your team's really smart. And guess what? Most of us, right, have teams that are way younger than us. Today, Shelby, shout out to Shelby. Shelby taught these old dogs a trick that's not a new trick. It's a trick that we forgot about because we didn't have a reminder system for it. But Shelby innovates like crazy. She is a solution master. She is a problem solver. And I think it's just that generation's way of they were raised with the internet. They were raised with these tools at their disposal and they know how to use them. We were not raised with these tools at our disposal. They came onto the scene while we were growing up and we learned to use them as they were learning us, you know? And trust these team members to figure some of this stuff out and automate things for you, simplify, create the systems that are going to work. Like let them work with these things. I've seen not only Shelby, but I've seen so many practices thrive because these young minds are thinking of some incredible, incredible things. And Dana, I'm sure you're seeing the same things in your practices.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And team members sometimes come with great ideas. They come with great resources. Sometimes team members you know go do research and find something that will solve an issue that's happening, and it is really neat to see from an outside perspective just how many changes are here, how many changes are
Yeah.
coming, and the pieces that technology bring. And you're right, younger team members tend to embrace them and find them.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I call them the smarter, they're smarter. Like they're those kids running around just thinking of everything. I'm like, dang it, I need that. But we all have our own things that we do really well, and I make reminders really well. So that's what I'm going to be super proud of today. So you guys, I told you we have some really fun ones. Today was actually really fun. Innovations in infection control. Like you guys innovate or die yourselves. Where is it? Maybe in infection control, maybe in anywhere else that's honestly driving you a little bit batty. Maybe we're forgetting the stereo strips. Maybe we're forgetting to run the lines. Maybe we're forgetting to change the traps and our compressors are getting overworked. Like all of those spaces, what is it? Maybe we're forgetting to wipe things down or whatever it is. Where can we build in some automation? Because today's innovation is reminding you that there's an automation for everything. So, what is it that's driving you nuts? What is it that's not getting done so your result isn't getting met? And then, what can we create? What system can we create and put in a place that's going to get us there? Dana, thank you so much for taking this wild journey with me today. We've had some really fun podcasts. It has been really enjoyable. I would not want to have done this with anyone else. So thank you, Dana, for spending your afternoon with me.
Yep, always fun.
Always an adventure with Tiff. All right, guys. Thank you, listeners, for being here. Whether you are a current Dental A Team client, a future client, or someone who is just here to listen, we love all of you guys. You are near and dear to our heart. We hope that you enjoy every podcast, but we hope you took some nuggets away from today. Please, as always, leave us a 5-star review. Let us know what you thought. And if you have some innovations, write into us. Hello at thedentalatteam.com. If there are things that other people need to know about, put it in your review as well. People really do read them. And also look for our doctor forums on Facebook or on Instagram. And then if you are a client, make sure that you're in our client only space as well so that you can help everyone innovate in their practices too. And that's a wrap. Thanks, guys. We'll catch you next time.